Good day everyone, I'm Zachary May R. Hinarilias, and today our group will be discussing about bearing capacity of shallow foundation. First, what is foundation? Foundation is the lowest load bearing part of a building, typically below ground level. So, kabalo naman taon sa ang foundation, no? Kinakailangan niya, no? So, next is naiduha ka classification ang foundation, ang shallow o ang deep foundation. So first kay shallow foundation. Distribute loads from the building into the upper layers of the ground. So the depth from the ground surface of the underside of the foundation is less than 5 times the width of the foundation. So kung mo ni ang ground level, tapos kailangan ang depth sa imuhang footing kay mas gamay sa imuhang base. So mao na siya ang shallow foundation. So naay upat ka types ang shallow foundation. Una kay individual footing or isolated footing. So kani siya kay ginatawag siya og isolated footing kay ang centroid sa column kay same ra sa footing nimo. So nakabantay muna kani siya kay ang pinaka common na ginagamit sa mga balay. Next is combined footing. So basically ang combined footing kay kato ni siyang duha ka individual footing. Kaso na timingan na ang imuhang design kay dapat kaayo sila. So na sila gamay na distance na lang jud space diri sa tunga. So imo na lang silang i-combine. Next is spread footing or strip footing. So kani siya common ni siya na ginagamit sa wall kay pataas siya pa ngani siya sa wall footing gamit na siya. Next kay rough or mat footing. Kani siya kay sa isa lang ka area na ay dagan siya gi-carry ng mga column. Then deep foundation. So ang deep foundation kay kabaliktaran lang sa shallow. So from the word shallow ganina mabaw, so kani deep talong. So ang iyahang depth sa footing kay greater than sa iyahang base. So naay duha ka types of deep foundation, ang pile foundation o drill shaft foundation. Ang pile foundation are used to transfer heavy loads or structure through the columns to hard soil strata. So kaning pataas kaning pile kay hangtod jud ni siya sa maabot niya tong bedrock tong hard soil strata. Tapos kaning pile foundation, this is also used to prevent uplift of the structure due to lateral loads such as earthquake and wind forces. Next is drill shaft or caissons foundation. Kaning tawag siya og drill shaft kay nagagamit siya ning drilled machine. Kaning duha ka type sa deep foundation kay maggamit ni siya sa mga heavy structure na, for example malls, hotels. So mo na siya ang gamit ani. So nakabalo na ta sa classification of types sa foundation, no? So pwede na ta makahimo or maka-design og foundation. But before ta makahimo og before ta mag-design o foundation, iba kabalo ta ang function sa foundation kay i-transfer niya ang load na na-carry niya gikan sa building paadto sa soil. So before before ta mag-design og foundation kay kailangan nato i-consider ang soil. Dapat dili ta magpataka-pataka og design lang pod na kanang gusto lang kani kay nindot tan-awon pero wala ka kabalo na overstress na di ay ang soil. So overstressing the soil can result in either excessive settlement or shear failure of the soil, both of which cause damage of the structure. So maunang ang mga geotechnical engineers o structural engineers kay must to evaluate the bearing capacity of the soil. So bearing capacity of soil is the ability of soil to support a load from foundation without causing a shear failure or excessive settlement. To know more about bearing capacity, so i-discuss siya sa akong kauban.
Good day everyone, I'm Donna Faye Ulog and I will continue the report about the bearing capacity for shallow foundation. So under that is the ultimate soil bearing capacity for shallow foundation. To understand that concept, we need to know first the modes of shear failure in soil. So we have to understand it first because in this shear failure, this is where the formulas were derived. So dito galing yung formulas sa mga shear failures na to derive. So we have three shear failure: the general shear failure, the local shear failure, and the punching shear failure. In the general shear failure, it usually occurs in dense soil. Complete shear failure develops from a corner of the foundation and extends to the ground surface. As the foundation overturns to one side, the soil on the other side is pushed up to the ground surface. This failure is the most catastrophic to the structure. So, sabi dito, yung foundation is naka-overturn. So, in every superstructure, so there is a overturning moment. Maybe because of the earthquake loads, wind loads, and other different loads. Sabi dito, it overturns from one side and create a ground surface bulge. So, it creates this. So, parang ganyan. The superstructure creates a ground surface bulge. Padulas. Like, it will look like this and will create a bulge here. So, yan yung general shear failure. And the next is the local shear failure. It occurs in medium dense soil. The shear failure develops from a corner of the foundation and extends locally to the adjacent area beneath or beside the foundation. The failure does not extend on the ground surface. As the foundation overturns to one side, a small bulge on the ground surface is visible on the opposite side. It is not a sudden failure. Instead, the foundation will gradually settle until it's in the subsoil. So, unlike the general shear failure, the local shear failure is gradually lang na nagsisettle and then tilts. So, like, it will still tilt on the other side, but slowly. Like, hindi siya mamalayan. And hindi siya like super na magkawas. It will just look like this. But it will still create a small bulge. So, the difference is like it settles gradually. And then next, we have the punching shear failure. It occurs in the loose soil, the failure only develops beneath the foundation. The foundation settles into the ground. The overturning of the foundation does not occur. The structure does not meet the service requirement due to excessive settlement. So sabi, there is no overturning that will happen. So it will just settle, like just go down. It is because of the loose soil. So most commonly, this happens in the road structures. Like if the ground is not compacted enough, so it will create like if the road will create like mga bangag-bangag. So like so if we have a required like compaction, we have to settle it so that there will no be punching shear failure. So both of these failures happen on different sides. Like it can happen on the left side or on the right side. So here is the um, graph of the load and versus the settlement. So this like there is a sudden um, sudden change in the settlement. Dito naman gradually lang. And then dito, unti-unti lang pero like it will not create an overturning moment. So we have here a table that shows the summary of the type of bearing capacity failure that would most likely to develop based on soil type and soil properties. So the type of bearing failure, the general, local, and punching. So in its density condition, dense to very dense, and then medium, and then loose to very loose. So its VR or relative density is 65 to 100%, while in the local is 35 to 65%, and in the punching shear is 0 to 35%. And the N1 or the corrected standard permutation test is greater than 20, and then the local is 5 to 20, and then the punching is less than 5. And its consistency naman, the general has very stiff to hard, and then the local medium to stiff, and then the punching has soft to very soft. And then in the undrained shear strength, so it should be greater 2000 PSF or 100 kPa, and then the local 500 to 2000 PSF or 25 to 100 kPa. And then sa punching shear naman is 500 PSF to 25 kPa. Less than 500 PSF and less than 25 kPa. And that is all from my report. Thank you.